Welcome to my long-term experience report about the Huawei Pura X Max. I'm using it as my daily driver for more than a month and have this already 3 months. So how good is the hardware holding up? How addicting is this form factor? How good are the cameras? And how good is the software, especially in the Western world? Can HarmonyOS be used here? Let's find out and let's get started. Let's take a look at the device itself. Around the device, first of all, I have still the original screen protector for the front screen here in the folded state, and the device was always carried in this plastic, fantastic, clear case that it came with. And yeah, this device is holding up nicely. No scratches, no dents, nothing there. Nice Huawei logo. You can see everything nice and shiny and glossy there. Fell, I think, once on the ground, but that's about it. So yeah, I'm usually pretty careful with my devices. Don't prove me otherwise. And yeah, the display is looking gorgeous. Still a very nice screen here. On the inside screen, pretty much the same. No issues there at all. Yes, in certain conditions you can see the crease still. No cracks, no dead pixels, nothing there that is disturbing me on the inner screen as well. But you can see some usage marks, especially here, for example. There is probably some dirt that went under the plastic body protector there. And there as well a bit of wear and tear on the plastics there, but I think easily can be, it's not even scratched, easily can be cleaned up. And so no issues there at all when it comes to the build quality of this device and the included protector or case for it. Let me talk a little bit about the camera sensors here in the back. We have a 101.3 inch sized sensor, 1.28 inch sized sensor actually, to be very precise. Variable aperture, which is quite cool. We have a telezoom sensor here as well, 3.5 times zoom. And we have an ultra wide angle there. There is a front facing camera as well, but I hardly used it. But let me show you the video quality of it. The front facing camera, this is what you see right now. I barely used it, not even for vlogging. I used it only for video chat with my family sometimes. And for that matter, it's working fine because usually it's 1080p quality anyway. Here it is 4K, 30 frames per second that I'm recording this within. And what do you think about the quality here? But the main star of the show is definitely the back-facing cameras. Just like with every other foldable, I have the possibility to flip it open and see myself then on the screen down below if I'm holding it up like this, or I can twist it around. But this is the main camera video footage here. What do you think about this quality here? 101.28 inch size sensor. It's basically the same that is in the Mate X7 with the variable aperture. So now at f2, but it can go open up to f1.4, which is quite cool and lets in a lot of light. RGB technology. We get nice background blur here as well. And of course we have, if we want to switch to the ultra wide angle, there's an ultra wide angle available as well. If you want to show more of your surroundings, better for vlogging, for where you can show your location a little bit more. What do you think about this one here? Even the zoom is not so shabby at all. So we have a 3.5 times zoom lens here, 84 millimeters. And this here with a high megapixel count and close macro photography capabilities is quite cool. This is 10x zoom here. It's a bit of a stretch there already, but 15 times zoom and 20x is the maximum that we have here. It's nice and stable, however. And if I'm panning around there for foldable, I think it's not bad at all. Let's go to the 1x and let me switch back and talk you a little bit about the cameras and the photos. I think this one here is the best camera foldable that you can find on the market right now, together with the Huawei Mate X7. The Honor Magic V6 is not coming that close to this one here in terms of cameras. Variable aperture main camera sensor is, I think, the major deal here. Oppo Find N6 not coming close. Yeah, the crease is better, but the cameras are not coming close to this one. And even the Vivo X Fold 6 or X Fold 5 is not coming close to this one in terms of cameras, camera-wise. This one here with the variable aperture, RGB, also shines in dark conditions, has nice background blur. You can have this variable aperture that helps also to get like those nice flares and sun stars or light stars, which is super, super cool. And you have more flexibility. The macro capabilities of the 3.5 times zoom is also very, very great and good. The ultra wide angle is pretty good. The video quality is very good here on this one. So this is a top-notch foldable when it comes to the cameras, and the best camera foldable that you can find on the market right now, no doubt about it. And yes, even the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 that came out was also wide, or even the Ultra model is not beating that in any form or shape, and even the new iPhone will not be able to beat it with just a 2-camera system that probably will be on board, at least on the main camera sensor, when we're not counting in the front camera. So in terms of cameras, top notch. I've established already cameras, one of the best there. I had made some camera comparisons as well with the Pura X, the smaller device. Oh, this is the Max version here. It has definitely the better camera setup, and you notice already from a lot of videos that I took in the last couple of months that I used this device a lot as an A cam, because it is so good, and the watermark down below is showing it as well on this camera most of the time when I was using it, because it is really that good. I like the zoom in and out animations being that good, and of course the whole ecosystem we have to talk about. And then we come already to the software HarmonyOS. And the operating system here is in version 6.1. So no, I did not upgrade this one here to version 7 yet. This is 6.1 that you saw here. And this is for one-handed usage, as you see here with this folded, not an issue at all. I don't feel like problems with it and the one-handed usage. Everything is running smoothly. This is also very, very important for a fluid user experience. So no issues there with stutterings or with slowdowns. It has the flagship processor, the current fastest processor that Huawei can produce, the Kirin 9030 Pro. So it is very fast. It's the same processor that is in the Mate 80 Pro Max. And no, the 90 and 90S Pro Max have a slightly slower processor here on older technology. This one here is faster for sure. And this is something that you can feel on or in the operating system. And now we have to talk a little bit about the software HarmonyOS in terms of applications and what is running there and what I can use in the Western world. And there's the good news. It is improving with each release, and HarmonyOS 7 is getting even better. I have it running here on the Mate 80 Pro Max. I can tell you it is getting even better in terms of like what is supported and what is working. So Android applications is probably the most requested thing here. Android applications run on it if you have an Android container installed. So it is a separate kind of running on the Open HarmonyOS or HarmonyOS system kind of area in the system where the Android apps are residing and running. Bit like a virtual machine without emulating hardware, because it's using directly the hardware that you have, but it's running in a container. So it is like by default not able to go outside of the container and access your data there. So I have several applications installed there, and they are running YouTube, of course. There is also the Chrome browser that I have installed there, but I usually rely on the Huawei browser myself because the integration into the system is much nicer there, and it's working also the same way as the Chrome browser is working. But if I need the Chrome browser, I have it there. I could install Gmail, Google Drive, Google Photos and such things. Syncing the photos, I don't think this is working 100% reliably. I don't do this. I sync my photos usually with Nextcloud, and I have the Android application of Nextcloud installed, and this is working very fine without any big issue there when it comes to this. So these Android applications are working. What you have to keep in mind, besides the browser and maybe the email application, the most applications that you will use on your HarmonyOS device, HarmonyOS 6, 7 device, and so on, is probably Android applications and not native HarmonyOS applications. Because yeah, maybe there's a music player still. There's not much for the Western world. Yes, there's now some beta versions, and I think there's a first unofficial Telegram client on the app gallery that you can download there. But it's scarce that services and features that you want to access in the Western world are scarce to find on the app gallery because it is solely optimized for the Chinese market. So have to keep that in mind if you want to get the best full experience for your country, then you have to rely on Android applications, and they are not first-class citizens in the system. Unlike the smaller sibling, the Pura X, those Android applications like F-Droid, for example, are also running on the outer screens without any issues. I used F-Droid to install some of those applications that I like to use, and it's working just fine, so I have the possibility to do this. To do this, I have installed Easy Abroad, which is one of the Android containers, and by default now shipped with this device is also another container called DroidTong. Don't think I see it here somewhere, but it's another container application that is coming pre-installed and that allows you to use Android applications. And the easiest one is Easy Abroad for sure, even though it's in Chinese, because it gives you updates for applications, like for example for Chrome that I get here right now, but it also gets you, when you go to the applications, your applications that you know and love from the Western world, like Google, the Netflix application, YouTube Studio. Google Gemini is also working very fine, so I can just execute Google Gemini and you see it is working fine even in German here, and even the language input is working. And even if I want to show it what's going on here, I have to allow everything, but then I can show it my camera, for example, and ask, was ist das für ein Hund? Okay, you see it's working not so great in detecting Timmy as a Maltese dog, but I said it's a Bichon, but it's Bichon and Maltese, you know, even you can make the mistake. So I have some Chinese applications, they come with pre-installed here on this device, but you can of course remove them. This search apps application is DroidTong, so you can search it. It comes with its own browser where you can install APK files, and for certain files you have to use it. People are asking about microG, Gbox and so on. If you have Easy Abroad installed, you don't need it because Google Services, aka a forked version of microG, comes pre-installed here, which allows you to run those applications. So you can also go to the settings, go to the G here, and you have the possibility to create Google accounts and use them here without any issues. In terms of limitations, however, YouTube has its 1080p capped limitation there, so you cannot go to 4K or HDR for that matter. HDR cannot be used for Netflix, and Netflix has no Widevine support, Widevine level 3 basically, so no L1, so no full HD streaming services are working there. But in general, the screen is small enough that I don't really notice that. I didn't really notice that. Just when I was looking in the settings, I noticed, okay, it's not HD. Otherwise, Google Pay, of course, and Google Wallet are not working. There is Google Android, or Android Wear, as it's called nowadays, is not working as well. And some specific features might not work, or if applications are relying heavily on some Android runtimes or Google specific runtimes, Google services, then it might not work the way you like it. Revolut, for example, is not working because it has like Google Play Protect or something like this inside. We had issues with X before, so the Twitter app, that was not working because they have now heavily Google Play integration. That has been quickly solved by just switching to a Gbox instance. So they are experimenting with putting Gbox with full Google Play services in the container as well to run certain applications like X. That has been solved this way, and hopefully with HarmonyOS 7 we will get also the ability to have full GMS running via Gbox, or we can at least configure certain apps to run via Gbox, and this would make more applications working. Not sure about Google Pay still, because this needs hardware integration as well. But what I could imagine is that Netflix with Widevine Level 1 will at one point work, which is quite cool, and YouTube with 4K, and maybe also HDR will work. Has it something to do with Google integration, Play integration? No, more with the HarmonyOS 7 framework and the updated AOSP core for the Android container, which will not be Android 12 anymore, but Android 16, which is, I think, also a big step, not in terms of numbers only, but also in terms of features. If you don't have Google Wallet or Google Pay, how do you do your banking? I have my local bank, Sparkasse, in here, for example, which is working fine. Even Mobiles Bezahlen, which is NFC payments with it, is working fine. I have C24 Bank, which is working fine. Trade Republic working fine. eToro working fine. And Curve Pay now working fine as well. Yes, Curve is finally working. Also for transactions, so NFC payments with Curve is now working. Then there is also, I have somewhere PayPal. PayPal is also working with NFC payments. Yes, PayPal offers NFC payments here in Germany, and this is working just fine. So with almost everything working, what are the issues that are encountered where I would say, maybe it's not my first-class citizen device that I would use as daily driver. I'm using it as daily driver, I use it as daily driver, but there are some limitations. For example, calendar sync and contact sync. For Google, there's no application currently that is able to sync it automatically. You have to do it manually. You can download your vCards and import them as contact files in the system directly. And the same goes for the calendar entries. You can just import them. But if you change something, you have to then change it on Google as well, or upload it, the changes in the vCard file. It's a bit of complicated. And the same goes also, I'm a Nextcloud user. For Nextcloud, Nextcloud is only supporting the CalDAV and WebCal sync down. So that means like from the cloud down to my device. But whenever I change something, it's not syncing it up there. So my workaround for now is like going to the web browser if I have a calendar that changes or contact that changes, and change my on the Nextcloud web user interface all the stuff that I need. And then it will automatically sync down to my phone again. It's a bit of a cumbersome thing where I would think it's a workaround, but I would really wish them to really complete the whole package there and also upload the changes that I do on device to my Nextcloud. The rest of it, however, is working very solid, like getting my passes from DHL. This app is working, automatically connecting via Bluetooth, such things. Certain Bluetooth features might not work as well, but for example, configuring true wireless headphones via Bluetooth and changing the EQ and such things is working even in the Android container when the app is only available for Android, and this is possible. What did not work is, for example, for my Sparkasse, to get my old S-Pushtan account to the new. Didn't work. It's using Bluetooth now. I added a different way, which is also working, but nowadays I think with the newest app version it is only relying on Bluetooth and you cannot do the old trick anymore. So you might run into issues with certain applications and hardware features that are required. For example, what I could imagine not working is USB-C plugged in devices and configuring them directly via a special driver, like for example USB-C DACs and so on. If you want to configure them, that might not work with the Android application from the container because it doesn't have access to it. But I personally didn't test it. All my DACs are working out of the box and I don't need to configure them. So this is why I didn't try that out yet. And of course the share menu integration with Android applications is now there as well. Like I think last time it wasn't there, but you can see some Android applications there, like Telegram, for example. You see this little airplane there. That means it's easy abroad. Could share it to Signal as well. So this is working as well. The share menu and the integration there with the Android applications is a given here. As we're talking about containerized apps or Android applications, they have their own file structure. So if you go to my phone, you see the Huawei HarmonyOS file structure, and the Android file structure you find under compatible data. This is what you find usually the Android applications on. This is the term that they use there. And if you click on this, you find the usual Android structure there with everything there. So the Android applications have only access to this folder and structure, but you can easily copy anything over for either from there to your HarmonyOS device or HarmonyOS files, or the other way around. So this is something that you have to know. This is possible, so it's not like completely blocked out. And of course, if I take a photo, for example, of myself here, I want to upload it to Twitter. If you go to Twitter here, I have, of course, the possibility to just click on here and say select photo, and it will appear here automatically. So yeah, this what in the first versions was not implemented is now implemented very easily. So the syncing of the gallery to the Android applications, or vice versa, if you took a photo with an Android application or create a new file with an Android application, it appears also on the native applications as well. Yeah, which is, of course, the integration is pretty good. And of course, it comes with limitations in terms of keyboard. So Gboard or Microsoft SwiftKey cannot work outside of the container or at all as a keyboard application because they cannot work with native applications. And this is a bit of a limitation here and there. And a few months ago, it was still a bit of an issue because we only had the Celia keyboard that had a bit of limitations here with predicted text, and the layout was not the best. But now you have alternatives. Harmony keyboard, there's Uruk type, and I think there's another keyboard type. There are lots and lots of keyboards there, and you can figure the hell out of them, and you definitely will find the keyboard that you will like, with good prediction, with swipe support, and other features there that you can configure the way that you like it. But what about applications, and how good are they adapted to the outer and inner screen? Like the native applications, they should work fine. Like the file manager here, if I open it up, automatically switches to its tablet mode. But even other applications, if I open up X here, for example, it is highly optimized for the tablet usage, as you see here. It's not like the small kind of stripe only. The navigation bars here, I can directly go to my comments if I want to, or to Grok or something like this. I can read all the postings here. This is very nicely done. Even Reddit, that's notoriously bad usually, it's working nicely here. And I can even like close it up, and you see Reddit is now in this other user interface that is more optimized for phones than for tablets. So this is a very cool thing, and I can even use it in this tablet mode like this, for example, which is also quite cool. And then of course I have YouTube here, also optimized for the tablet mode. If I go in here, you see it's going like this, and it's like showing them side by side instead of one big kind of mode there. So yeah, even those Android applications that are running here in the container are working very nicely and are adapted to this kind of screen size, which is quite fantastic. And in my opinion, after I tested out the Z Fold 8 briefly in a store, way more optimized on Pura X Max, even in a container, than on the Galaxy Z Fold 8. Another point of a bit of frustration is notifications, especially for the Android applications. Most often you end up with notifications, even if I unlock this one, that look like this. Telegram, view details. It is not showing you the content. I think WhatsApp, it is doing it, but for other applications it's not doing it. Most of the applications I end up like this, where the notification, okay, I got a notification, but I cannot read the content. I have to click on it to know what's going on, which is a bit of frustrating. The other thing is like full screen notifications, like call screens in Telegram, WhatsApp, or other applications. Signal, for example, are not coming through because they cannot take over the call screen yet. And this is an issue that sadly even HarmonyOS 7 doesn't fix yet. So hopefully maybe later in HarmonyOS 7 in its development we find a fix, we finally get a fix. So for those call screen notifications, you have to know that you get a call. Sometimes it vibrates on Signal, for example, so I know something is going on there. And then I can go into Signal, and then I see the full screen notification. I can then answer it, and it works just fine. But notifications, yeah, they're coming in most of the time if you have the apps configured that way. But like I said, they might end up like this, not with lots of information, which is a bit of a bummer. Despite those kind of like downsides, and some people might say, hey, that's way too complicated and I'll never buy this phone here. It's the form factor and it's the operating system, other things that you can do with it. So let me just open up this picture, for example. I go here to my laptop and I can just transfer this picture over, as simple as this, and then you see the picture here on screen. How cool is that? This is Huawei Share working here with my Huawei MateBook 14 and other features that make it super easy for cut and editing my files either on the laptop or even on the go, because I can just open up this, jump into a video editor of my choice, and then start editing my video here on a large, almost 7.7-inch screen. Even if I'm like out and about, I have the ability to do so, which is super, super handy. And then we have to talk about battery life of this one here. Definitely one day it will last. It's not as big of a battery as others are here, but this one here is working pretty fine, has fast charging even via wireless. You see here 50-watt wireless charging here, pretty fast. So at least I will come through a day, even a second day, half of it can work out. And 50-watt wireless fast charging, and there's I think 66 watt wired fast charging as well. So I never have had issues with battery life on this device. And then we come to one of the specialties of this form factor, relaxation and watching some movies, because this one here is very, very good when it comes to watching some nice movies on this very, very large screen. Almost no bezels at all, and you can watch even movies on this without any issues. The speakers, however, with the intense EQ setting, it's getting there. Just a whole restart of the phone. It's getting pretty loud, but it's missing a little bit of bass there and a little bit of details. But still, I think it's enough. The loudness is there and you can understand everything. And if I really want to watch a movie where I'm immersed into it, why do I watch it on a small screen like that? But if I do it, I have headphones that I can plug in either via cable USB-C, or I can use Bluetooth or Nearlink headphones, because Nearlink is supported as well. So the FreeBuds Pro 5 or the FreeBuds FreeClip 2 will work without any issues and without latency, which is super cool also for video editing on this device. So media consumption is just great, especially on a vacation. You can just relax and watch your movie. Yeah, and of course the speakers are stereo. So we have one here and we have one there. So if you hold it like this, it's firing from here and from down below there. Yeah, holding it like this from left and right. Yeah, it is pretty good. And also if you have it like this and hold it like this, it's also firing from left and right. So you always have this stereo kind of effect. All in all, I'm pretty excited about this, and my long-term experience is so far very good on the Pura X Max. Yeah, there are some nitpicks here and there, but the form factor is so addicting. It is small if you need it, just small in your pocket. It's not too thick, and you have a very good camera system, but you can also have like a more than 7-inch kind of tablet, 7.7 inch I think it is, tablet that you can use for quickly cutting your videos, enjoying some nice videos, or just having multiple apps running in parallel side by side. And this is very addicting. Together with a very good camera system, this is my dream device almost, I would say. And this device is a device that I will probably keep using for longer. Usually I switch to another device that might become very interesting. But in this case, I will keep using this device because it is so versatile and I like its form factor. And I also want to experience HarmonyOS 7 on it. Yes, I have already running HarmonyOS 7 on the Mate 80 Pro Max and the Mate 70 Air, but I was a bit afraid putting a beta version on my main device. So I will wait until the final version of HarmonyOS 7 will come out. And hopefully then also with some nice bug fixes and more features that will improve the experience on this device. So far, I'm happy. I have everything. Can I use it as a sole device? Maybe not so much. There are some issues, for example, my WhatsApp. I'm not a big WhatsApp user, but I have a few contacts and chats. And because I not share my address book with WhatsApp, I have to take them over from another device. And that sadly didn't work onto the Pura X Max. So this is why I still have my Oppo Find X9 Ultra, where WhatsApp is running with all those chats there. So hopefully either they fix this here, make it somehow work. I hope for more global applications running here. There's this Harmony keyboard, or H keyboard I think it's now called. There's also H Cloud, which allows you to use and sync up to Google Drive and I think Google Photos. I'm not sure if it works automatically. I never used it because I'm not a Google Photos user, but I want to mention it. So there is some progress being made to globalize this a little bit, but not by Huawei themselves so much, but more by the community that enjoys using this device and their operating system on it. That's everything for this short little, yeah, probably a bit longer, impressions video. My experience report using the HarmonyOS powered Pura X Max for 3 months already, and probably keep using it. So there will be an ultra long review probably at the end of this year as well. If you're excited about this, if you have some question regarding HarmonyOS, regarding this device, write it down in the comment section. That's everything for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Until the next time. Bye.